Welcome back. Authorities in Ghana have arrested at least 3 people in connection with the bizarre case of a bogus U.S. embassy, which was being operated by fraudsters for the last 10 years in the capital, Accra. The fraudsters, whose total number has not been disclosed, were busted in a joint operation by the Ghanaian police and the U.S. Embassy. They are reportedly cooperating with officials who are investigating the extent of their scam. The gang sought clients from Ghana and neighboring West African countries and brought them to a building in Accra where the American flag was flown for a fee of $6,000. That's £4,700. The unsuspecting applicants were issued visas which were not all fake, suggesting the involvement of insiders at the American consulate. Now, the people reportedly arrested by the police are of Ghanaian and Turkish nationalities. Well, here in Nigeria, the president is asking ECOWAS member countries to pursue peace and development in order to ensure the security of the sub-region. President Muhammadu Buhari was speaking after a closed-door meeting with his Liberian counterpart, Mrs. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, in the presidential villa. President Sirleaf was in the country to brief President Buhari on the situation in the sub-region ahead of the group summit in Abuja. Our State House correspondent Chukwuma Onekwusi reports.
Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's motorcade meanders into the presidential villa in a grand style. She mounts the dais with her host for the national anthem of both countries before stepping down to be introduced to the cabinet members. Some photo shots. And the 2 leaders retire upstairs for talks that lasted for about an hour. The last time she came in February, she thanked Nigeria for helping to restore peace to her country and specifically acknowledged Nigeria's support during the Ebola epidemic in Liberia. This time, she has gone round to get an update on the ECOWAS Commission as the secretary and has come to brief the president on her findings towards a report she'll be presenting on December 17.
I'm using the opportunity of this visit to be updated on the progress and challenges of the work of the ECOWAS Commission, to meet with the entities of ECOWAS, the Commission, the Parliament, and the Court, in preparation for the report I will need to make at the Summit of the Authority, which will be held here in Abuja on December 17.
The president commends her for stability in her country and the ability to handle the ECOWAS responsibility. He persuades other ECOWAS leaders to continue to pursue peace in the sub-region.
The situation in our sub-region is relatively stable, but there is need for us to continue to persuade our colleagues to show appreciation and the efforts the sub-region is doing to make sure that we pay more attention to security and development.
The president heads to Senegal to attend the 3rd Dakar International Forum on Peace and Security in Africa. Beyond the ECOWAS sub-region, the president is carrying the message of peace and development to the AU summit. He believes that development can only strive in a peaceful environment. Chukwuma Onekwusi, Channels Television News.
Egyptian geologist Mohammed Al-Gaza has turned his Cairo home into a fossil museum. The 70-year-old scientist has spent his career collecting samples of rocks and fossilized trees from around the world. Take a listen.
In the sprawling garden of Egyptian geologist Mohammed Al-Gaza's home are preserved remains of plants and animal species that existed millions of years ago. The 70-year-old scientist has been collecting rocks, fossils, and minerals for decades, and he showcases his findings in his Cairo home. The items on show here were mostly collected by Al-Gaza on research trips. And now his home is open to the public for all to see. Al-Ghazal said he was inspired to transform his villa into a museum upon visiting similar sites in Mexico, Brazil, and Russia. How were they collected? Well, honestly, a lot of people helped me collect these rocks. Of course, I visited a lot of places in Egypt, such as Desert Oasis. I visited many places and collected rocks from Abu Rawash. I collected rocks from Beni Suef and Minya. So, when in Egypt, I visited a lot of places, and when I first started working in Egypt, I visited the oasis and collected a lot of rocks from there. I have been collecting rocks my whole life. Among his most prized possessions is a trilobite, an extinct marine arthropod. I can determine the age from the places which I gathered these rocks. The oldest fossil I have is around 570 million years old. Someone sent it to me from abroad, and it's called the trilobite. This is the oldest, but the rest of the rocks I own date back around 200 million years. That fossilized wood and palm trees are around 35 million or 28 million years old. Al-Ghazal graduated from Cairo University and furthered his geology studies in New York. He provides free tours at his villa, where he educates people on his vast collection. He says he wants his home to be an educational destination, and so far locals as well as foreign visitors have all attended tours here. All of the rocks that I have here are natural. There has been no interference of man in their making. But I wanted to make a comparison between the art of nature and the art of humans, and this is why I put several stone statues to show the difference between the two. It is very apparent how nature's art is much stronger than human art. There are more than 500 items in the geologist's collection, and he hopes for it to continue to grow as he studies the land and seeks out more rock samples and fossils from upcoming trips. With the opening of the new Grand Egyptian Museum in 2017, the geologist hopes there will be a dedicated department for fossilized material that will showcase Egypt's rich heritage.
Well, that's Network Africa. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Jaka Rogers.